The monarchy is back in the eye of a racism storm, as the Dutch version of the newly released book on the royal family, Endgame, amongst other things, allegedly, mistakenly named King Charles and Princess Catherine as the two royals who had expressed concern about what the skin colour of Harry and Meghan's first child would be. Expectedly, there has been extensive global media coverage of this explosive book that has shot straight to the top of the Amazon bestseller list. Defenders of the monarchy have come out strongly to denounce the book, the author, and the Sussexes, and argue that the naming was a deliberate ploy by the Sussexes and the author to smear the royal family. Harry and Meghan have been silent in the face of the storm, but the Endgame lies and misrepresentations have now been exposed by a Montecito mole as revealed in this video. We invite those of you who haven't yet done so to like, subscribe, and click the notification icon to be notified when the next video is uploaded. At the forefront of the campaign to denounce the Sussexes and defend the monarchy is American podcaster Kinsey Schofield, following in the footsteps of other royalists of similar repute like her English clansman, Philip Schofield.
The reason why the racism experienced by Meghan feels so personal and it deeply resonates with a lot of people is because it's symptomatic of the culture of racism in the United Kingdom.
What examples do you have?
You see, that is another problem. When people keep asking what examples, it makes me question. It makes me question, where have you been the last 2 years? What have you been reading? What have you been listening to?
I've been reading some criticism.
Right.
I haven't personally read anything that I could say was based on racism.
And this is part of the problem. And let me explain what racism looks like from the lens of white privilege.
Very sympathetic, and then sometimes we've been critical, but you look at it and think, oh, why didn't you both just shut up?
Well, that's the impression.
Schofield has been doing the rounds of royalist media organisations to robustly defend the royals, while roundly attacking the author and the Sussexes. In an appearance on GB News, the US-based podcaster, in a style reminiscent of her clansmen, claimed that there was a lack of interest in the #1 bestseller, because Harry and Meghan's popularity in the US was waning. She asserted that this astonishing opinion had been informed by a breaking scoop, direct from Montecito, titled, "Montecito Calls on Harry and Meghan Amid Royal Book Row," by fellow royalist and friend, Kieran Southern.
What is the fallout to the release of this new book about the Sussexes, Endgame, by Omid Scobie? How's it going down in America?
The headlines are here. However, in Montecito, it seems like Harry and Meghan's star has fallen quite a bit. Montecito bookstores are refusing. I shouldn't say refusing. There's just no interest in Endgame. This is from the Times. My friend Kieran Southern breaking this story that Montecito bookstores are not covering Endgame.
Reading Kieran's scoop revealed the title to be clickbait, because it was not so much a case of Montecito cooling off Harry and Meghan, but rather a case of a celebrity enclave with a concentration of prominent residents and a population of 9,000 being unfazed by celebrity. In a style reminiscent of his friend and clanswoman, Kieran's scoop, which copiously referenced Kinsey, reported that while the book was making waves internationally, there was a lack of interest in Montecito. It is unclear why this is a scoop, given the demographics and the fact that Montecito bookstores are essentially specialist, unconventional and offbeat stores. Book sales are predominantly driven by online retailers, and a review of Amazon, who are responsible for over 50% of sales from the Big Five publishers, who control between 50 and 80% of the book distribution in the US, shows that Endgame, the Audible audiobook, is currently topping the bestseller list in royal biographies, with the hardcover and Kindle editions coming third and fourth respectively. Kieran followed up his scoop with an interview with Times Radio, with another clickbait title, "Harry and Meghan's Montecito Neighbours Grow Tired of Them," in which he directly undermined his scoop. Critically, the takeaways from the interview are that the people he spoke to were not sick and tired of Harry and Meghan, but rather sick and tired of the attendant media circus, an intrusion which appeared to be on a scale that even the celebrity enclave was not used to. He found no one that had any malice towards Harry and Meghan.
How they're finding Montecito, how Montecito's finding them. Is there trouble in paradise?
Get the impression that some people in Montecito are quite sick of the Harry and Meghan circus. This is a celebrity enclave, the likes of Oprah, Kevin Costner. They all live up there, it's this beautiful town on California's Pacific coast, just right next to Santa Barbara. People I spoke to yesterday, no one has any malice towards Harry and Meghan, but you just get the impression that, you know, they're sort of tired of the circus around them, and every time that something happens, you know, journalists such as myself end up going up there, and as I say, it's a celebrity enclave, so they're just so used to these A-list celebrities that there's no novelty there, and yeah, get the impression that they wish the circus would leave town for many of them.
Yet Schofield had relied on Kieran's scoop to assert that Kieran had spoken to people who were appalled by Harry and Meghan. Last but not least, in the interview, Kieran acknowledged that there was no evidence that the Sussexes had colluded with Omid Scobie, but Schofield and her kinfolk routinely assert otherwise. In conclusion, a clan of royal journalists routinely conspire to dissemble fake news about the Sussexes. Ironically, the intense media interest and the Amazon bestseller list make it quite clear, as we have previously reported, that Harry and Meghan are by far the royals that the public are most interested in. By continuing to conspire with the royal journalists to attack the Sussexes, the royal family and their courtiers are effectively risking the survival of the monarchy and marching inexorably onto the endgame.
I think that most of the general public would assume that the monarchy are at the mercy of the British press, when the reality is there is a far greater level of manipulation that goes on from the royal courts to the media than Joe Public would ever believe.